If you've ever hated yourself for failing, you're not alone. He sits in a cheap cafe, so quiet he can hear the espresso machine humming behind him. In front of him is his phone. On the screen, a banking app he hasn't dared to open again. Today, I want to walk with you through his story about how rock bottom can sometimes be the very first step towards standing back up. A cold morning. The sky is grey, like a thin layer of dust over everything. He pulls his old jacket closer, steps inside the cafe with his shoulders slightly hunched. The place is small, dim yellow lights, watery coffee smell, and cheap pastries softly trembling in the air. He chooses the table in the corner, the most hidden spot. The spot where he doesn't have to meet anyone's eyes. A spot where he can pretend he's just another ordinary customer waiting for the morning to pass. But he isn't ordinary. Not this morning. Not after what just happened. He sets the phone on the table, 2 fingers trembling, as if the screen might bite into his skin if he touches it one more time. Outside the glass, people are still going to work, still walking fast, still living as if the world has no bottom. And him? He's sitting at the bottom of his own. Finally, he opens the banking app. Just 1 second, but it's enough to tighten his chest. The debt number appears, bright red, clear, non-negotiable. He feels his chest drop, as if someone is pulling his whole body 1 level deeper under. 35 years old, an age he once thought would mean he was okay by now. An age when he told himself, by then I'll be steady, I'll have something called success. But now he's here, in a cheap cafe, with a debt, and a shame clinging to him like old smoke trapped in his clothes. He remembers the months before. 1 big mistake, a project collapsing, a partner walking away, then a short email ending everything. He tried to stand tall for a few days, tried to look fine, but every night in his small rented room, the questions kept chewing at him. What did you do that was so bad? Who are you to even dream? Do you deserve to keep living? Failure didn't just take his job. It took away the way he saw himself. He no longer felt, I failed. He felt, I am failure. And that was the deepest fall. The cafe starts filling up. People ordering, spoons tapping cups, chairs scraping the floor. But he sits there as if he's been separated from every sound, like a stone at the bottom of a river. Water flows around it, but can't touch it. He lowers his head, avoiding familiar faces, avoiding even his own reflection in the dark screen. Sometimes he thinks, if only I could go back, if only I had chosen differently, if only I hadn't messed up. But if only makes the bottom deeper. It doesn't lift him. It locks him inside a room with no door. He places both hands on his thighs, looks at them. These hands once signed contracts, once shook other hands with confidence. Now they tremble, as if they don't belong to him anymore. He exhales. A breath so heavy it feels like the sigh of his entire life. And then, a voice he never expected pulls him toward the surface. Would you like some hot water? He looks up, a young barista. Her eyes are gentle and calm, as if she's seen many people sitting at the bottom like him. She places a cup of hot water in front of him. Steam rises, soft and blurry. She speaks slowly. "Take your time. You're still here." Just one sentence, but it touches a soft place in his chest, a place he thought had turned to stone. He looks at the hot water, something ordinary, but its warmth makes his hands ease a little. And suddenly, he realizes something small and clear. He failed. Yes, but failure is something that happened to him, not something he is. It's an event, a season, a wave, not the nature of his whole being. He had mixed the two, turned himself into his mistake, and punished himself as if pain was the price for being allowed to live. But her words crack open a door. "You're still here." If he's still here, then there's still another possibility, still a page not written yet. He closes his eyes for a moment, not to run, but to remember. He remembers the days he truly tried, the nights he stayed late, not because anyone forced him, but because he believed what he was doing mattered. The times he stepped forward to take the hard part, to help his team through a broken place. The times he started over after smaller failures. He remembers. He wasn't always someone who fell. He had stood back up before, many times. It's just that this time the fall was deeper, and the self-blame was sharper. He looks out the window. People still walk, still breathe, still live. And he suddenly sees he doesn't have to be perfect. He just has to be real and keep learning how to live. He doesn't have to admire himself today, but he can stop hating himself. He holds the hot cup. Warmth spreads through his palms. It's normal that I hurt. It's normal that I'm scared. It's normal that I'm disappointed. He lets those feelings exist. He doesn't force them away, doesn't slap them down with shame. He accepts. Failure happened. It hurts, but it doesn't get to decide who he is. He doesn't have to get over it today. He doesn't have to prove anything on a cold morning in a cheap cafe. He just needs to stop turning the knife on himself. Compassion is not a reward for success. Compassion is the ground where rebirth becomes possible. And he needs that ground. He sets the cup down, leans back, breathes slowly. Inhale, exhale. The breath moves through his chest like warm water. It doesn't erase everything, but it makes it less sharp. He feels his shoulders drop a little. His jaw loosens. His hands steady. The cafe is still loud, but he no longer feels trapped at the bottom. He feels himself here, in life, among people, inside a morning that can begin again. He looks at his phone. The debt is still there. It doesn't vanish just because he breathes. But unlike a few minutes ago, he doesn't see it as a sentence. He sees it as something to face, step by step, not all at once, just step by step. He places one hand on his chest, feels his heartbeat, slow but steady, like a simple answer, "I'm still here." He stands up from the table, slowly, but steadier than when he walked in. He nods to thank the barista. She smiles, as if to say, everyone has a day at the bottom. He steps outside. Cold wind hits his face, but he doesn't shrink anymore. He stands still for 1 second on the sidewalk, looks at the ground beneath his feet, like looking for a place to set his first step again. He knows he can't climb out yet. He can't become okay in a single day. But he also knows rock bottom doesn't mean the road ends. It's just where a different direction begins. Tomorrow morning, he will do one small thing. Just one small thing. Every morning, 3 minutes, place a hand on his chest. Breathe slowly and whisper, "I'm still here." That's enough for today. If you're at the bottom too, you don't have to climb out in one day. Just breathe today. Just stay with yourself today. And tomorrow, we'll take one more step